Start with Open Shortest Path First OSPF. It is also an intra-domain routing protocol like RIP, but it is based on the link state routing protocol. OSPF is an open protocol, which means that the specification is a public document. Next, we'll see about metric. Okay, metric. The cost of reaching a destination from the host is calculated from the source router to the destination network. Each link or network can be assigned a weight based on the throughput, round trip time, reliability, and so on. So, to use hop count as the cost will be decided by the administrator. Okay, will be decided by the administrator. So cost in OSPF is that different service types devices can have different weights as the cost. So this figure shows the idea of the cost from a router to the destination host network. You can see this figure, no? This figure. So it shows the idea of a cost from a router to the destination network. Okay, so here it has been shown. First N1 cost 4, N2 5, cost N3, N3 3, N4 4, total cost 7 from R2 to N4, from R3 it is 4, from R1 it is 12. Okay, next we'll see about forwarding table. Using Dijkstra's algorithm. Each OSPF router can create a forwarding table after finding the shortest path tree between itself and the destination. Comparing the forward tables for the OSPF, just a minute. Comparing the forward tables for the OSPF and RIP in the same autonomous system, only difference is the cost values. If we use the half count for OSPF, the tables will be exactly the same. Both protocols use the shortest path trees to define the best route from a source to the destination. Next, we'll discuss. So this shows the forwarding table. You can see forwarding table for R1. Destination network N1. There is no next router for that, means cost is 4. It's mentioned cost 4, no? Then similarly N2, it is next router is not mentioned, so cost is 5 here. N3, in the forwarding table next router is R2. So N3, if it has to go to R2, total cost will be 5 plus 3, which is 8. For N4, which it has to go to R2, then it will be total cost 12. Okay, 5 plus 3 plus 4, 12. Similarly, forwarding table for, you can see R2. N1, if it has to go through R1, then cost is 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. From N1 through R1 means 5 plus 4, 9. N2, no next router, 5. N3, no next router, 3. It's given top 3, no? N4, router is R3. So total cost is 7. It has been given 7. Similarly, forwarding table for R3 router. So R3, N1, if it has to go through R2, then total will be 12. N2, R2, 8. 3 plus 5, 8. N3, no next router, 3. N4, no next router, 4. So in this way, we have tried the forwarding tables. Is it clear? Okay. Next, we'll see about areas. So OSPF was designed to be able to handle routing in a small or large autonomous system. The formation of shortest path trees in OSPF requires that all routers flood the whole AS with their LSPs to create the global LSDP. This may not create a problem in a small autonomous system. It might have created a huge volume of traffic in a large autonomous system. So areas which are small section autonomous system needs to be divided to prevent this due to huge volume of traffic in a large autonomous system. So each area acts as a small independent domain for flooding LSPs. So OSPF uses another level of hierarchy in routing. First level autonomous system, second area. Okay, now so we'll see about the forwarding tables in OSPF which I have already shown. Okay, here each router in a area needs to know the information about link states not only in its area but also in other areas. Now we'll see about backbone area. One of the areas in the autonomous system is designated as backbone area, which is responsible for gluing the areas together. So routers in the backbone area are responsible for passing the information collected by each area to all other areas. Routers in the backbone area are responsible for passing the information collected by each area to all other areas. A router in an area can receive all LSPs generated in other areas. Each area has an area identification for the purpose of communication. Area identification of the backbone is 0. Next we'll see about link state advertisement. So whatever is OSPF, it is based on link state routing algorithms. Requires that a router advertise the state of each link to all neighbors for the formation of LSDB. Each router is a node and each network between two routers is an edge. We need different types of advertisements, each capable of advertising different situation. So there are 5 types of link state advertisements: router link, network link, summary link to network, summary link to autonomous system border router, external link. So we'll discuss all these 5 types of links. So before going to links, I will show the diagram of areas in an autonomous system. So you can see areas in an autonomous system, the diagram. So this is autonomous system. Area 1 is shown in this way. Then you can see area border router. Then area 0 is shown, which is considered as backbone router. Then next area border router, which is taken to be area 2 here, autonomous system boundary router to other autonomous systems. So this is areas in an autonomous system. So next we'll see about 5 different LSPs. 5 different LSPs. 5 different LSPs. So first we'll see about router link. Advertises the existence of a router as a node. This type of advertisement can define one or more types of links that connect the advertising router to other entities. A transient link announces a link to a transient network, a network that is connected to the rest of the networks by one or more routers. Advertisement of this type should define the address of the transient network and the cost of the link. A stub link advertises a link to a stub network, a network that is not a thorough network. The advertisement should define the address of the network and the cost. A point-to-point link should define the address of the router at the end of the point-to-point line and the cost to get there. Network link. We'll see what is this network. A network link advertises the network as a node. Since a network cannot do announcements itself, so the network cannot do the announcement itself because of it is a passive entity. So one router is assigned as designated router and does the advertising. In addition to the address of the designated router, this type of LSP announces the IP address of all routers, but no cost is advertised because Each router announces a cost to the network when it sends a router link advertisement. Next we'll see summary link to network. Done by an area border router. It advertises a summary of links collected by the backbone to an area or the summary of links collected by the area to the backbone. In order to glue areas together, this type of information exchange is needed. Summary link to network. So we'll see summary link to network. So, is it clear? It is done by an area border router. It advertises the summary of links connected by the backbone to an area or the summary of links collected by the area to the backbone. In order to glue areas together, this type of information exchange is needed. Next, we'll see summary link to autonomous system. Done by an autonomous system router that advertises a summary link for other autonomous systems to the backbone area of the current autonomous system, where the information can be disseminated to the areas so that they will know about the network in other ASs. So need for this type of information exchange is better understood while discussing while discussing the inter-AS routing, which is BGP, Border Gateway Protocol. Next, external link. Done by an AS router to announce the existence of a single network outside the AS to the backbone area to be disseminated into the areas. So you can see all 5 different LSPs. 5 different LS. Router link, network link, summary link to network, summary link to AS, external link. So these diagrams. 5 different LSPs. Transient link, point to point link, stub link. So is a router link. Next, network link. Network is advertised by a designated router. Next is summary link to network. So we have area 1, area border router, area 0. Then summary link to autonomous system, area 0, AS router. External link, area 0 router, AS router. So these diagrams will represent the all different 5 LSPs. Next we'll go for OSPF implementation. Implemented as a program in the network layer using the service of the IP for propagation. An IP diagram that carries a message from OSPF is a routing protocol in order to help IP to route its datagrams inside an AS. The OSPF messages are encapsulated inside datagrams. OSPF has gone through 2 versions, version 1 and version 2. And version 2 has got most implementations. So version 2 is most widely implemented. Next we'll see OSPF messages. OSPF messages. Okay, OSPF is a very complex protocol and uses 5 different types of messages. So this figure shows the format of OSPF common header. OSPF common header and link state general header. You can see here, no? OSPF common header and link state general header. So we'll see outlines of 5 types of messages used in OSPF. Hello message type 1, used by router to introduce itself to all the neighbors and announce all neighbors that it already knows. Next, data description message type 2, normally sent in response. This is a database description, second type of message. You can see database description, no? Normally sent in response to hello message to allow a newly joined router to acquire full LSDP. Next, link state request message type 3 is sent by a router that needs information about a specific LS. So the link state update message type 4 is, you can see type 4, link state update. Okay, message type is the main OSPF message used for building the LSDB. Whatever is this message has 5 different versions: router link, network link, summary link to network, summary link to AS, border router, and external link. The link state acknowledgement message type 5 is used to create reliability in OSPF. Each router that receives a link state update message needs to acknowledge it. So all these 5 types of message you can see. This is first OSPF common header. You can see version, type, message length, source, router IP address, area identification, checksum, authentication type, authentication. Then link state general header. Link state age, ETLS, LSID, advertising number, LS sequence number, LS checksum, length. And these are the 5 different types of message. So what is ETBIMMS? They are flags used by OSPF. Priority used to define the designated router. REP, repeated as required. Next, authentication we'll see. OSPF common header. So whatever is that OSPF common header has the provision for authentication of the message header. So OSPF common header has a provision for authentication of the message header. Okay, which prevents a malicious entity from sending OSPF messages to a router and causing the router to become part of the routing system to which it actually does not belong. So next we'll see about OSPF algorithm. OSPF algorithm. So OSPF algorithm. So this is algorithm shown, OSPF algorithm. You can see the OSPF algorithm implements the link state routing algorithm which we have discussed in the previous section. However, some changes and augmentation need to be added to the algorithm. It implements the same link state routing algorithm, but some changes and augmentation need to be added to it. What is it? After each router has created the shortest path tree, the algorithm needs to use it to create the corresponding routing algorithm. Next, we'll see about performance. Before ending this section, let us briefly discuss the performance of OSPF. First, update message. The link state messages in OSPF have a somewhat complex format. The link state messages in OSPF have a somewhat complex format. They also are flooded to the whole area. If the area is large, these messages may create heavy traffic and use a lot of bandwidth. Convergence of forwarding tables. When the flooding of LSPs is completed, each router can create its own shortest path tree and forwarding table. Convergence is fairly quick. However, each router needs to run Dijikra's algorithm, which may take some time. Next, robustness. The OSPF protocol is more robust than RIP because after receiving the completed LSDB, each router is independent and does not depend on other routers in the area. Corruption or failure in one router does not affect other routers as compared to that in RIP, because in RIP it is serious. Next, we'll discuss about border gateway protocol. So the diagram of that has been shown. A simple network with 4 autonomous systems. We'll study this. The border gateway protocol version 4, BGP4, is the only inter-domain routing protocol which is used in internet today. BGP4 is based on path vector algorithm, but it is tailored to provide information about the reachability of networks in the internet. So we'll go for the introduction. So what I have told, BGP4 version 4 is the only interdomain routing protocol which is used in internet today. BGP4 is based on path vector algorithm, but it is tailored to provide information about the reachability of networks in the internet. So we'll go for introduction. BGP, particularly BGP, particularly BGP4 is a complex protocol. The basics of BGP and its relationship with inter-routing protocols, that is RIP or OSPF. So this is an example which is showing of internet with 4 autonomous systems. AS2, AS3, AS4 are stub autonomous system. AS1 is transient one. AS1 is transient one. Data exchange between AS2, AS3 and AS4 should pass through AS1. So you can see data exchange between AS2, AS3 and AS4 should pass through AS1 because it is a transient one. So each autonomous system uses one of the two common intra-domain protocols, RIP or OSPF. Each router in each AS knows how to reach a network in another AS. To enable each router to route a packet to any network in the internet, there is a need to first install a variation of BGP4 called external BGP eBGP on each border router. Then second variation of BGP called internet BGP, that is iBGP, is installed on all routers. Border routers will be running 3 routing protocols: intra-domain, eBGP and iBGP, but other routers are running 2 protocols, intra-domain and iBGP. So we'll go for the operation of external BGP, eBGP. Operation. BGP is a kind of point-to-point protocol. When the software is installed on 2 routers, they try to create a TCP connection using well-known port 179. A pair of client and server processes continuously communicate with each other to exchange messages. BGP peers or BGP speakers, the 2 routers that run the BGP process. So the 2 routers that run the BGP process are called BGP peers or BGP speakers. eBGP variation of BGP allows 2 physically connected border routers in 2 different autonomous systems to form eBGP speakers and exchange messages. Routers that are eligible form 3 pairs. So which are the 3 pairs? You can see R1 to R5. You can see routers R1, R2, R3, R4 labeled up. R5, R6, R7, R8 and R9. So routers that are eligible form 3 pairs. Which are the 3 pairs? R1 to R5, R2 to R6 and R4 to R9. Okay. So you can see R1 to R5, R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5 will form 1 pair. R2 to R6, R2 to R6 will form 1 pair. Then R4 to R9, R4 to R9, it has been shown here no by line, R4 to R9, that is third pair. Connection between these pairs is established over 3 physical WANs, N5, N6 and N7. However, you can see N5 is one physical WAN, N6, N7. So you can see N5, N6 and N7. eBGP session, eBGP session, eBGP session. Okay, then it is through 3 physical WANs, N5, N6 and N7. You can see N5 here, no? eBGP. Here you can see N6 eBGP session. Here you can see N7 eBGP session. Okay. However, there is a need for a logical TCP connection to be created over physical connection to make the exchange of information possible. Each logical connection in BGP parlance is referred to as a session. So it has been shown it is a logical connection in BGP parlance called as session. So this figure shows the update messages sent by router involved in eBGP operations. eBGP operations, you can see circled number defines sending router in each case. Circled number defines sending router in each case. Example, message number 1 is sent by router R1 and tells router R5 that N1, N2, N3 and N4 can be reached through router R1. Router R5 can now add these pieces of information at the end of its forwarding table. When R5 receives any packet destined for these 4 networks, it can use its forwarding table. When R5 receives any packet destined for these 4 networks, it can use its forwarding table and find that the next router is R1. Messages exchanged during 3 eBGP session help some routers know how to route packets to some networks in the internet. Whatever is the reachability information is not complete. So there are 2 problems that need to be addressed. We'll see what are those 2 problems. So we'll see those 2 problems that need to be addressed. First one, some border routers do not know how to route a packet destined for non-neighbor autonomous system. For example, R5 does not know how to route packets destined for networks in AS3 and AS4. Routers R6 and R9 are in the same situation as R5. R6 does not know about networks in AS2 and AS4. R9 does not know about networks in AS2 and AS3. 2. None of the non-border routers know how to route a packet destined for any networks in other AS. To address the above 2 problems, we need to allow all pair of to address the above 2 problems. To address the above 2 problems, the above 2 problems, we need to allow all pairs of routers, that is border or non-border, to run the second variation of BGP protocol, iBGP. iBGP. Okay, so this shows a combination of eBGP and iBGP sessions in the internet. As a session is made on an overlay network, that is TCP connection, due to this the physical networks is not shown inside autonomous system. Spanning more than one physical network as determined by the route dictated by intra-domain routing protocol. Only 4 messages are exchanged. Okay. So, the operation of internal BGP, iBGP, similar to eBGP protocol in that it uses the service of TCP on well-known port 179, creates a session between any possible pair of routers inside an autonomous system. If an autonomous system has only one router, there cannot be an IBGP session. For example, we cannot create an IBGP session inside AS2 or AS4 in our internet. Second, if there are n routers in an autonomous system, to prevent loops in the system, that is, each router needs to advertise its own reachability to the peer in the session instead of flooding what it receives from another peer in another session. So, if there are n routers in an autonomous system, there should be n into n minus 1 by 2. N into n minus 1 by 2 IBGP sessions in that autonomous system which is a fully connected mesh to prevent loops in the system. There should be n into n minus 1 by 2 IBGP sessions in that autonomous system which is a fully connected mesh to prevent loops in the system. In other words, each router needs to advertise its own reachability to the peer in the session instead of flooding what it receives from another peer in another session. So this combination shows easy eBGP and IBGP sessions in our internet. So as the session is made on a overlay network, that is TCP connection, due to this the physical networks is not shown inside ASS. Spanning more than one physical network as determined by the route dictated by intra-domain routing protocol. Only 4 messages are exchanged. The first message sent by R1 announcing that networks N8 and N9 are reachable through the path AS1 to AS2, but next router is R1. This message is sent through separate sessions to R2, R3 and R4. R2, R3 and R4. So you can see through routers R2, R3 and R4 first. Okay. Our routers R2, here all the routers are shown, R2, R3, R4 up to R1 to R8, R9. Okay, so routers R2, R4 and R6 do the same thing but send different messages to different destination. At this stage, R3, R7 and R8 create sessions with their peers, but they actually have no message to send. Process of updating is not stopped here. For example, after R1 receives the update message from R2, it combines the reachability information about AS3 with the reachability information it already knows about ASI and sends a new update message to R5. R5 knows how to reach networks in AS1 and AS3. Process continues when R1 receives the update message from R4. At a point in time, there are no changes in the previous updates, and that all information is propagated through all ASS. Then how many routers are there? Each router combines the information received from eBGP and IBGP and creates what we may call a path table after applying the criteria for finding the best path, including routing policies. Path table in figure for the routers. For example, router R1 now knows that any packet destined for networks N10, N11 or N2 should go through AS1, AS3 and the next router to deliver the packet to is router R1 and so on. So you can see this. I'll show that forwarding table. You can see finalized BGP path tables. Networks N8, N9, next R5, path AS1, AS2, networks N10, N11, N12, next R2, AS1, AS3, N13, N14, N15, R4, next AS1, AS4. So on, this has been written for all the routers. You can refer the part table for R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8 and R9. It is a path table. Okay. Next we'll go for injection of information into intra-domain routing. Role of an inter-domain routing protocol BGP is to help the routers inside the autonomous system to augment their routing information, that is the path tables collected and organized by BGP are not used per se for routing packets. They are injected into intra-domain forwarding tables RIP or OSPF for routing packets, done in several ways depending on the type of AS1. Case 1, stub AS. Case 1, stub AS. Only area border router adds a default entry at the end of its forwarding table, and it defines the next router to be the speaker router at the end of eBGP connection. Then whatever is R5 router in AS2, it defines R1 as the default router for all networks other than N8 and N9. The situation is the same for router R9 in AS4 with default router to be R4. In AS3, R6 sets its default router to be R2, but R7 and R8 set their default router to be R6. Whatever are these settings, they are in accordance with the path tables for this router. The path tables are injected into intra-domain forwarding tables by adding only one default entry. Case 2 is transient AS. Situation is more complicated. R1 in AS needs to inject the whole contents of the path table for R1 in figure of finalized BGP path tables into its intra-domain forwarding table. R2, R3 and R4 have same situation. What issue needs to be resolved is cost value. RIP and OSPF use different metrics. Case 2, transient AS. Situation is more complicated. R1 in AS needs to inject the whole content of the path table for R1 in figure of finalized BGP path tables into its intra-domain forwarding table. R2, R3 and R4 has the same situation. So these are forwarding tables after injection from BGP. So you know how to write the forwarding table after injection from BGP. What issue needs to be resolved is cost value. RIP and OSPF use different metrics. The solution is very common. Is to set the cost to the foreign networks at the same cost value as to reach the first AS in the path. Example, cost for R5 to reach all networks in other ASs is a cost for R5 to reach all networks in other ASs is a cost to reach N5 What I told, cost for R5 to reach all networks in other AS is a cost to reach N5. So how much it takes to reach N5, that is a cost to reach all networks in other AS is a cost for R5. Similarly, cost for R1 to reach networks N10 to N12 is a cost to reach N6 and so on. So cost is taken from intra-domain forwarding tables RIP or OSPF. So this figure shows inter-domain forwarding tables. We assume that all ASs are using RIP as intra-domain routing protocol. Shaded areas. So you can see these shaded areas, no? These shaded areas you can see. So these shaded areas. These all are shaded areas. Okay. These shaded areas shaded areas, they are the augmentation injected by the BGP protocol. Default destinations are indicated as 0. Default destinations are indicated as 0. So here it has been shown 0, no? Here this 0, it is default destination. So here there is a this is default destination. Similarly, here it is default destination. Here also it is default destination. Where there is 0, it is default destination. Okay. So this is how you should be able to know how to write forwarding table. Okay, cost. So with this I'll complete